The Icelandic film and Breathe Normally was released on January 8, 2018 in the US. This film was directed and written by the director Isolde Ugator. It is last 1 hour and 35 minutes and is part of the drama genre. It is worth to mention that it's originally from Iceland, Sweden, and Belgium. As an interesting fact, the soundtrack of the films was interpreted by an Iceland punk band known as
Q for You.
It also obtained 8 awards and 22 nominations. One of the most important awards is the Sundance Film Festival 2018, where it was the winner of Best Dramatic Cinema Direction, managing to raise around $26,922 at the box office.
Our protagonists have many problems. Lara is not able to keep her own life in order. Her troubles are overwhelming. Bankruptcy, heartbreak, withdrawal syndrome, etc. On her side, Aja finds herself in an unknown country, with the possibility of being deported and separated from her family. Fortunately, both understand the serious difficulties of the other, even if those difficulties are completely different. The film makes us think about the stories of those who have no choice but to escape their homeland because staying is a death sentence.
The film covers several problems. The most important will be Aja's immigration situation and the poverty in which Lara lives. Breaking down each of these problems, we have that on Aja's side, due to her status as a woman and belonging to the LGBTQ plus community, as the feature film infers, and adding to this that she is originally from Guinea-Bissau, a country that only until 1993 decriminalized homosexual sexual acts and also has a female mutilation index of 45%. And finally, it's positioned at number 13 in the countries with the worst human development index. We can understand now the motivation she had to seek for a better future. Finally, with regard to Laura, we have that Iceland is the country that occupies the third place in the worldwide ranking of living costs, where families to survive in average approximately need $6,500 a month. Show the difficulties that Laura was going through to be able to keep her family afloat and how serious the fact of being unemployed was.
The French miniserie Le Bazar de la Charité, or the better known in English as The Bonfire of Destiny, is a French melodrama that begins with a real historical event. Created with Catherine Rambert and Karin Spuskowski as their most popular work, was released by December 26, 2019. Is Spain through the Netflix platform as featured well-known actresses such as Audrey Fleurot, Juliette de Bona, and Camille Lowe. This production invites us to talk historical drama and fiery journey based on real events through a passionate episode, each on lasting approximately 50 minutes. This miniseries obtained 2 nominations and 1 Edwards for Best Serials at the Visual Laurels 2020.
It tells us how the fire of the Bazar de la Charité changed the lives of three Parisian women at the end of the 19th century. Adrienne takes advantage of the situation to pretend to be dead, get rid of her abusive politician husband, and escape with her daughter. Alice, who is Adrienne's niece, sees how the aristocrats during the fire only care for themselves, while the marginalized youth did help evacuate and rescue. That changed her perspective on her fiancé. And Rose, who is a maid in Alice's house, suffers some impressive burns that left her unrecognizable, so a lady tries to convince her to pretend to be her daughter, who died in the fire, so that her son-in-law does not inherit her fortune. Initially, the causes of the fire are not clear. The hypotheses handled are an accident or an attack by the anarchists. The second hypothesis is more convenient for the authorities to win the next elections, regardless of whether it is true or not.
Now, in the Bonfire of Destiny, the objective of showing female empowerment is evident. This equality strategy is seen in the three protagonists and in the development of their stories, each one covering problems present at the time concerning gender inequality. In the case of Alice, we see how, because she is a woman, she must marry in search of a benefit for her family, especially for her father, without taking into account what she wants and the importance of a love in the relationship. Sometimes, not very different, happened to Adrienne, who lived in an unhappy marriage with a woman who used her as a trophy and who did not allow her to have any interaction without his consent. Finally, in Rose's story, we see how she is used as a substitute to maintain the lie of a marriage in the search of preventing her husband from keeping his mother's fortune, and to continue supporting infidelities just for the fact of maintaining a good image in society. All this encompasses some problems that women experienced at the end of the 19th century, where they could not separate, they didn't have the right to active political participation or to have an opinion on these issues.